Hi everybody, welcome to Missy's Imaginings. I hope that you're having a good fall. This has been a very interesting autumn and fall for us. We've had a lot of overtime at work, which is twofold because you do get more tired having that extra day of work, but it also has provided a little bit of extra income that I've been enjoying. So we see a very large box here. We're going to get to that in a minute. But before we get to this large box, just a quick reminder that during the holiday season, as you are preparing for celebrations here in the U.S., we just finished Thanksgiving Thursday. Today is Saturday. And then we're looking toward the Christmas holidays, and a lot of people are shopping and preparing for that. But if in the midst of all that preparation you're looking for ways to save on dolly items, I saw, once again, we have a store here in the Pacific Northwest of the US called Bi-Mart, and they have the little blankets here on sale again, 2 for $5. So the prices haven't been that low in a long time, and it's kind of like their doorbuster sale. I'm not sure how long it will last, but it is a fun opportunity. These blankets, as far as blankets go, are not my favorite thing as a blanket, but they are a lightweight fleece, which do provide the opportunity to get some yardage of fleece that is a really good weight for dolly clothing. So I have purchased and used these blankets to make like hoodies and sweaters for ball jointed dolls, because the weight of the fabric is very thin compared to some of the heavier fleece fabrics. And this is, well, let's see, did I bring my glasses? Yes, I did. The size of this is 50 inches by 60 inches. So if you buy yardage and you buy from a larger bolt, they're generally, 50 to 60 inches wide, and then 60 inches long is almost 2 yards. So you're looking at almost 2 yards of wide fabric for $2.50. So it is a really good deal on fleece fabric that has a good weight to it, because even on sale, let's look in here, in one of our fabric stores, Joann, fleece fabric, even on their doorbusters, are going to be $4 a yard. The Blizzard fleece, $4 a yard. Anti-pill plush fleece is $5 a yard. So that's on sale. So normally fleece prices can be anywhere from $6 to $12 a yard, depending on what kind it is. So to be able to get a substantial amount of fabric, like almost 2 yards, at $2.50, it's a bargain. So if you're in an area that has these little blankets, check them out. A lot of times Walmart will have them. And like I say, Bi-Mart has the sale going. So it's just another opportunity to get really good fabric to make your dolly clothing, and you get quite a bit of it for a very reasonable price. And there's lots of different patterns. Usually you can get a lot of Christmas patterns, and then just some little pretty plaids, stuff like that. Also, when I went to Dollar Tree, I just kind of peruse every once in a while, and I was able to find some purple eyelashes. So that's a fun thing. A lot of times it's hard to find the colored ones if it's not Halloween specific, but these were, let's see, is it Joni brand eyelashes at Dollar Tree. And so for $1.25, since everything's $1.25 now, it's fun for your BJDs. So eyelashes there, and then I was looking in the crafting area at Dollar Tree, and they also have findings. These are for earrings and jewelry, which I'm going to be working on some of those things for resin. So just some ideas for your dolly things. And that brings me to this package. I was able, just to stop. I want to do some price comparison for you. This is a Switch body, the Switch Humming 65, and I wanted to get this body and look at it and compare it to our MiroDoll. But I looked on the Switch website, so we're going to put a picture here, and to get this body from the company, you're looking at between $500 and $600, and it depends on if you go for a different color resin. If you want the darker resins, they're going to cost more. If you want blushing of any type, it's going to cost more. So this body has a little bit darker color. It's not the lightest color, and it did come with blushing on the hands, but I found it on the secondhand market on eBay, and I put it in my watch list, and I was able to get this body, including shipping, for like $198 secondhand. So when you're thinking about BJDs and you want to save some money, consider the secondhand market. I like shopping through eBay because you have buyer protection, sellers have seller protection, there's that mediator in between. So I tend to buy higher end items more on eBay than I would like Facebook Marketplace. To me, there's just not the protection there for sellers or buyers that you'll find on eBay with the guarantees. So I don't do shopping on Facebook, nor do I sell on Facebook. I use eBay when I'm going to sell, or the doll shows. But so this body that from the company would be between $500 and $600 depending on options. I was able to get with shipping for under $200. So it's just a good thing to look online, but you have to continually watch, refine your searches. If you want legit specific, you type that in, legit BJD 1/3 scale body, male, whatever. And then once you do that search, and if you find things you like, put it in your watch list. Or you might search by brands. You can do 1/3 scale ring doll, 1/3 scale switch, 1/3 scale dolls. You can put in a specific brand. I often will put in Angel Studio because it's one of my favorite sculpts. And then I watch. And it's kind of like a lot of the dolls that are like really high priced. If you watch them long enough, sometimes sellers who want to move product will reduce prices, or they will put on the option to make an offer, and then you can kind of counter bargain back and forth. I've done that before. So it's just an opportunity to get some of the higher end dolls that would cost so much more direct from the company, but they're secondhand, and for whatever reason people are moving them. Some people want to make more money, and so you have to be careful of that, but sometimes people just want to clear things out. Maybe they're leaving the hobby, maybe they're transitioning to a different type of doll and they're moving things out. So if you watch, you can find good deals like this. I have gotten some good deals. Of course, there have been dolls I've paid more for because they were a specific doll that I wanted, and even then I did bargain. So I was able to reduce the price a little, but I was willing to pay more. Like the Hua Rung I have, I paid a little bit more for her just because it was the sculpt that I wanted. But it is an opportunity to get a higher end doll. So what we're going to do is we're going to unbox this, then we're going to compare this body to the MiroDoll slim bodies that I got for, like, sometimes when I purchased they weren't on sale. I think they were like 110 or 120, but then when they were on sale I got them for like $76 or $78. So yeah, and MiroDoll still has a couple left of the the more buff bodies on their website. So I want to compare this body to those bodies, see what the differences are. And I will say up ahead of time, you are going to get what you pay for. So when we looked at the other ones and wiring them, we could see some of the things that aren't quite as high-end in the sculpts, but you're not paying a high-end price. So I'm totally happy with that. This doll, which would normally cost over $500, I want to see the difference. So we'll open up the box, take a look. I'm fully confident we will see those differences, and yeah, we'll kind of compare them. Just if you're new to the hobby, you can kind of get an idea of where you might want to go with your collection. Some ways that you can save some money is by the secondhand market. Also, I will say I do tend to stay on the lower end for bodies and then put more money in the face sculpts, because the face sculpt is what shows where the body's going to be covered with clothing. So at least in my collection, they're going to be fully covered. I don't have any that have, you know, like, I don't know, medieval outfits that show a bare chest or anything like that. I don't really do that. So for me, the body isn't as important as the face sculpt, because I'm going to cover it up with clothing. So it'll be fun to compare these and see the differences, and then we'll yeah, take a look at those, and then you can have some ideas on where you might want to go with your collection. Here we have the box, and so it's a good size box, and we're going to go ahead and open this, and hopefully I can do it without ruining the box. I don't know if this is an actual doll box or if this is a shipping box. The top is just plain white. There we go. We can kind of lift this. I'm trying to only cut the tape. I don't want to ruin a doll box. So I'm anxious to see what this body looks like. I'm used to just, like I mentioned, getting bodies that are not quite as high-end, partly because I want to invest my money in the heads, and also it's not as important of an issue for me because I'm always going to be clothing them anyway, and it's just my styles are mostly going to cover all the bodies. So if it's not a really high-end body, it doesn't really affect anything. So I'm curious, because I believe that Switch is a more high-end product. So let's go ahead and take the top off of here and see what we got. Oh, well, look at this. So the inside of the box has been turned to the outside. I don't know if that was so that it wouldn't be a temptation for someone to steal it during post, maybe. So it says, Switch presents from Seoul, Humming Dolly 65 Boy, from from Switch. It's weird. There's like a space after the O and then after the S, from switch.com. So there's the inside, and then it says, I don't know if that'll show up because of the lighting. Oh, here, I have a flashlight. There we go. So, there we go. Switch here. Just play Switch on the box, and then that side's blue. Okay, so there's that part of the box. We've got an eBay invoice. Then it says Switch Original Doll Handbook. And the COA, I believe, went with the head, because I'm only buying the body. So here we have the handbook about our company, product warnings. So here's all the information about, and yeah, so there we go. And it's interesting, it has all the Hangul lettering in there. So there we go. Okay, so there's the handbook. Then let's see, we'll make sure this is in the view of the camera, we'll take out some of the packing information here. There we go. And it looks like we have a lining. It feels like it has a zipper on it, so it feels like a little sleeping bag. And we've got some bubble wrap. Alright. And then the body. Looks like it's wrapped well. So it's interesting that that pillow has a sleeping, or it has a zipper on it. But I don't know if it'll actually have, oh yeah, there's a zipper. Okay. So, the box, this is a very nice box. Alright, so let's see if we leave this guy here and move this out of the way. And let's take a look at this, which I find it interesting that it wasn't zipped up. Let's see if I can zip it. Oh, it looks like it's going to have to be done very carefully. The fabric keeps wanting to get caught. So, okay, so here we have our fella. It looks like he's all taped together with some washi tape. I'll stick some of that tape on my easel. There we go. And then right here. Oh, nice legs. And warning, because there will be dolly nudity coming. So you may need to look away. Alright, so let's grab, we've got a lot of tape here. I'm grabbing some scissors. Oh, well, then I ended up carrying it anyway. Okay, nice heavy body. And again, somebody told me, don't just pull the bubble wrap off the arms and hands. Always unwrap it, but sometimes it's hard to do that. I can't get the tape off. Okay, there we go. Oh, very nice hands. And it's all blushed. And it looks like he has long fingernails. Very nice. And we'll go ahead and unwrap this one. Alright. So both the hands are here. All the fingers are in place. Nothing's broken. Oh. And he is wired, I believe. It said in the, let's see if we can, yep, there's wire in there. So he's already well wired and strung well. Interesting. And so he does have a little bit of a forward slouch. So this is the Switch 65. And it sounds like there's somebody on the outside of my house. That was weird. So he has a 3-part torso with the chest, abdomen, and hip area. Then the legs have the hip joint as well as a mobility joint. The knees are double jointed, with a peanut in the middle. So a very nice sculpt on his legs. Ankles look like there are multiple points in his ankle, which is very cool. So his ankles are double jointed as well. The arms have just the shoulder joint and then double jointed elbow. Then the wrist also has that double jointing ball in the wrist. So that is very, very nice. So, and the color is probably a little darker than what my other guys are, but like I say, he's going to be wearing clothes, so it won't be that big of a difference. Really nice sculpting here and in the abdomen. Very, very nice. And in the forearms, very nice sculpting there. Then here's what the back looks like. So very nice sculpting in the back. And in here as well. And then here's the back of the legs. Very nice. And I have gotten used to, if the knees are wired and you bend them, they stay great. But then when you go to straighten them out, sometimes the wire tends to want to stay bent, so I kind of counterbend a little bit to get the leg straight again, which I often do. And yeah, so there is the body. So now we will go ahead and get one of the other ones and kind of compare and look at the difference that you can expect from a higher end price point compared to the lower end of the spectrum on price point. So we'll get the other guy and take a look at that. Just a little quick insert. I was able to get this zipped up, so that is really nice. That the pillow comes with a zipper on it, and you can actually zip it all the way around the doll, which I've had lots of pillows that have like a drawstring opening. I will say, because it's so puffy, this gets caught really easily, so there we go. But it will zip up and have like an actual little sleeping bag with a zipper on 3 of the 4 sides. So that is very nice. So yeah, just thought I would put that in there. So if you are going to purchase from this company, it's kind of one of the things you might expect. And now we have the 2 bodies side by side. The interesting things that I'll start off with is the switch body is clearly more aesthetically pleasing. It just has like prettier definition in the sculpt itself. So here, like some of the muscling here, though I don't know many people who are actually that muscly above their rib cage, except for bodybuilders. But it's just more defined than the MiroDoll, which is to be expected. The hands are much more defined, and the hands are bigger on the Switch than the MiroDoll. And the sculpting of the veining on the hands is much more defined. The nails are more defined, and of course these are actually blushed, and he has little tiny French tips on there. So that is to be expected. The quality of the weight is more. There's more weight to the Switch doll. This one is, let's see, I'm going to get the feet so they're just even here. Let's see. That's about right. So the Switch is a little bit smaller, which is to be expected because this was the Switch 65. This one is sold as a 66. So it's to be expected that it's a little bit smaller in height. The joints are much better. So you can just see the accuracy of how everything fits together is much better. And so you're going to get that on a higher end sculpt. The knees are really pretty. They fit together really well. So all in all, of course, you're getting a much better product as far as detailing in how the joints fit together, and then that would affect the posability because everything fits a lot tighter. The size is pretty similar. Some of the styling is similar, but the arms are noticeably thicker, I think, than on the MiroDoll in both the upper arm and the forearm area. So the MiroDoll has a little bit more of a slender sculpt in like the muscular areas of the arms. The legs are very similar in size, but again, the Switch is more defined in the muscling. Also in the private areas, the Switch was more accurately defined than the MiroDoll. But I will say, and just in case there are, little ones who might watch a dolly video, I won't unrobe, but this was a positive in that it was more defined, but it didn't protrude enough to where it would affect the fit of clothing, which I like. It was easier to fit clothing than some other dolls that I've seen. So yeah, I don't need all the extra endowment. That's just my take on it. But anyhow, now we'll flip them and look at the back. The MiroDoll does have a little bit longer neck. Then the back is the break in the chest area and the torso is higher than the MiroDoll. This is kind of more down, like below the rib cage, and this looks like it's a little bit higher up and then falls down to the rib cage. There's more sculpting here in the torso section that looks more like, you know, bodybuilder-ish. Although this has a nice sculpt, this one is more defined in the back of the shoulders, and also the back of the tricep area is more defined in the sculpting of it. The back of the knees, this fits a lot more snug. The part of the joint that's exposed is a lot less on the Switch than on the MiroDoll. You can see a lot more of the peanut on this one. The feet on the Switch are bigger, and then of course the MiroDoll, the ankle ball and the foot are all connected, whereas the Switch has the separate ankle ball. It's a separate piece. So this is a double joint where this is only single. So yeah, very pretty sculpt. I'm very pleased, and because he is a little tiny bit shorter, but still almost the same, I'll probably use this body for Jimin, and then I'll end up with one extra body. But yeah, very pretty sculpt. I really like him. He's a little bit darker in color, but I don't really care because he'll have clothing on and it won't be that big of a deal. But I probably will use this one for Jimin. Then that just gives me an excuse to buy another doll head. Yeah, so also I will say that I have, this is a ring doll head, and excuse me while I move the camera a little bit, I'm going to grab another one. So it's getting a little lumpy there. Okay, so let me grab. So then this is also a ring doll head. So both of these are just different heads that Ring Doll offers that I use for Jin and Yoongi. And they're not specific to these guys, but they were the closest I could find. But there is a seller and sculptor on Etsy, Huli Dolls, H-U-L-I Dolls, who will do custom sculpts. And if she has at least 3 people who want a particular sculpt, then she will provide that sculpt. And so as of right now, there are 3 of us who are interested in the sculpts for Jin and Yoongi. So if you go over to Instagram for Huli Dolls and look through her posts, I'll try to find how to and put a little thing here so you know what to look for. But if you're interested in those 2 faces, if she has enough interest and people who commit to buy those sculpts, then it reduces or eliminates the sculpting fee. And so right now the sculptor herself, one other person, and myself are all interested in these 2 face sculpts. So if she gets enough interest, then it bypasses that extra fee, and her prices on her sculpts are very reasonable for the SD size. I will grab one more doll here. So here, we'll put him here. So this sculpt of Hobie is one that she did that I bought from her. This sculpt, I think she still has some available, and then she also has a sculpt that she did of Jimin that's available, but I already have that guy. So anyway, so this is a sculpt that I purchased from her. Let's see, I'll take his wig off. And then this is the inside of the head cap. It has a lovely little fox on the inside, which is really cool. So yeah, so this is the 3rd scale sculpt. She's a magnificent artist, really skilled. But if you're interested in those additional sculpts, if you want to post on there that you are interested in those, if she gets enough interest, then she'll do those sculpts and have them available. So yeah, so that's just a little FYI on face sculpts if you're interested, and then the comparison of the Switch body and the MiroDoll body. So just kind of what you can expect. I'll also put like the prices. So that when you look at the prices, you can kind of see why I have no problem going with MiroDoll when they're available, because the price point is so different. But this body I was able to find and win on auction. And so a lot of my higher end items, I love shopping eBay and just looking for things on secondhand market, because you can get a good price sometimes that will save you a lot. So yeah, so there we go. Thanks for coming along. Now you kind of know some things to expect, and I'll see you next time. Bye.